Hello, faithful, and welcome to a new video here on YouTube from Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. I am your host, Kevin Crothers, station manager for Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio, and still a staff writer for Heaven's Metal Magazine. Today, I wanted to kind of keep it short, relatively sweet, and I wanted to just reach out and say thank you for making 2023 an absolutely fantastic year for Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. We've had some changes as far as how we do some of the things, but we've continued to have more listeners throughout the United States and Canada, and a few of you on the other side of the pond there in England. And I really wanted to just give you all a shout out and say thank you so very much. And I appreciate the kind words that I hear. And honestly, it's been over 5 years now that Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio has been on Live 365, providing Christian hard rock and metal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We went technically commercial free 2 years ago now. And it has been a really great thing. Of course, we did start off as White Throne Metal Radio. And 2 years ago or so, about 2.5 years ago, it just seemed appropriate at that point to just start running it as Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. I really want to say, again, thank you so very much to all of our listeners, and also a lot of the other compadres and friends that we have in this vast network, as it were, whether it's on Live 365, on YouTube, or other digital outlets. I'm talking about specifically like Kent and Rex over at the Area 312 Vodcast. Absolutely a couple of fantastic guys who do a great job providing excellent interviews with a lot of either classic and occasionally some more current members of the Christian rock scene. Jeremy Brown over at Torrential Riff, who provides some fantastic analysis of new releases, gives you his opinion, his take. The guy is a really solid mixing and audio engineer. A lot of hard work I know that he has spent. Really, I've heard some of the work Jeremy's done. One of those things was the latest release from Jepabai II, Jimmy Brown's Novella 2 project. We want to give a big shout out to Covenant Metal Radio. The Covenant Metal Show, Mr. Dave Kruse over there. And you can catch Dave. We've been talking about, and he's kind of floated the idea of coming back and having his show back on Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. We'll see how that plays out. I also want to give a huge shout out to Mr. John Cassandro over at the Warriors Night Out radio broadcast. John has done some things for me on the radio side of stuff. Absolutely fantastic. I highly appreciate the effort he has put forth. And by the way, don't forget the Warriors Night Out broadcast. We play it here on Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're out on the East Coast, that means it shows up at 8 o'clock. Also, a big shout out to Mr. Bill Bafford over at Rox Records, Rox Productions. So grateful for Bill and his, we'll say, behind-the-scenes contributions that have really helped to keep Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio on the air. It does cost money every month to to run the station. It just does. We don't charge for ads or anything like that. We kind of try to view it as a ministry, and at the same time, try to view it as a way for other people to just enjoy the music that they may not always get a chance to hear before perhaps they make a purchase. If you're like me, you like to have all the physical product, in your back catalog. of course, we have tons of stuff on hard drives and all that other stuff, but physical product is always a big, big plus. Bill has been a huge support, and I really want to give a huge shout out to Bill. You really want to check out Rock's Productions, and that includes Scott Waters over there at No Life Till Metal, and then they've got Christian Metal Distro. And so really, you want to check all of that out. Really a great couple of guys over there. Of course, I would be remiss without, giving a big thanks to Mr. Doug Van Pelt over at Heaven's Metal magazine. Doug drugged me back into the fray on doing writing, about 12, 13 years ago now. And he really kind of slapped me around earlier this year when I was kind of fed up, honestly. This takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, whether it's producing videos or the Artist of the Month segments that we used to do. It just takes a lot of time, and honestly, I just couldn't see what the end result was. Doug kind of brought me back to earth. Greatly appreciated. Appreciated all of the support from Mr. Jeff McCormick, also from Heaven's Metal, and he's got his own show here on YouTube that you can check out as well. What is that? The Vinyl, Rock and Vinyl. Yeah, I'm remiss in not having that right here in front of me. But those gentlemen, I really want to give a shout out to as well. And of course, I definitely don't want to forget Mr. Matt Hunt over at Boone's Overstock, who also, through the years, has been a tremendous bit of support and encouragement to me. Really want to give a huge shout out to that and to him and all of his efforts as well. Quickly, like I said, I wanted to keep this quick. A couple of things. I've worked hard to bring back the Throne Room radio broadcast. That was the old podcast that I used to do through Rock's Productions. We did like 50, 60 episodes that you could download and listen. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, it just was not feasible at that point in time. But what I've done was to bring that show back, a 1-hour format, and it's on every Monday at 6 a.m. and at 12 noon here Pacific time. So that's 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on the East Coast. And I have a few other replays of that show during the week. It also appears on Crooked Halo Radio, because nobody's perfect but Jesus, the Gurr Rockin' Radio, plus the Christian Metal Onslaught. Mr. Christian Sullivan provides the platform, and all of those stations run the Throne Room. That's hosted by me, yours truly, 60 minutes, hard rock, heavy metal, everything from melodic AOR all the way to, the brand new stuff from Becoming the Archetype or stuff from Living Sacrifice, what have you. A huge variety. I hope you come and get a chance to listen to it and check it out. You can also, and don't forget this, you can listen to Heaven's Metal streaming radio through Live 365, which of course you can download to your computer, your smart device, and with Get Me, also they have, Live 365 has their own app, and it is all on your phone. And you can take this, and if you're savvy, you could stream it and sync it to your car, and whammo, you've got Heaven's Metal streaming radio in your automobile. Hey, how cool is that? Who says automobile? It's in your car, right? But also, did you realize you can listen to Heaven's Metal streaming radio also through, let's see if I can pull this back up here, Get Me Radio. There's the Get Me Radio app, which you can download from, whether it's iTunes or the Google Store. This is obviously an Android, so you dial it in, you pull up Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio, so you download the app, and then you search for Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. Pops up, there you go, and voila. You are now... check it out. All right. And not only that, you can listen to this you can download the Get Me Radio app. If you have Roku, you can download it to your Roku box. Now you have a home stereo or a home sound bar with 5.1 surround, a sub, and all this kind of stuff. You want to listen to it through your Roku box, you can do that. Get Me Radio is on, let me pull it back up here. Get Me Radio is on, oh phooey, what do I have here? Come on. And you can listen to Get Me Radio through Alexa. They say, Alexa, ask Get Me Radio to play Heaven's Metal Streaming Radio. You can download the Get Me Radio Android app. There's the Get Me Radio, Apple Store app, the Roku Box app, Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV. All of these things you can use to listen to Get Me Radio. So all kinds of opportunity that you can listen to it. Like I said, put it on your smartphone, sync it in your car. You have a Roku device at home, download it, bam. I strive really hard to make sure that we play not the same old thing over and over and over. So, I have sections called Hot Tracks, where the latest releases that we have. I saw somebody post something in the Christian Metal Facebook group where it was like 100 albums. Well, I didn't buy 100 albums this year, and I'm not getting 100 albums for free. So, if you're saying, well, I don't get to hear this or that, well, I can't play it if I don't have it. So I try really hard to make sure that it is not the same old thing, that we're not just playing the same old stuff over and over and over. Of course, sometimes that's what you want to hear. But sometimes you want to hear the latest thing from Calamity Kills, or the latest thing from Clank, or the latest thing from Randy Rose, or Narnia, or, whoever. So when I get those, I add them into rotation. I put them into the hot tracks section of our show, which plays like 4 different times during the day, 30-minute blocks of brand new stuff. So there you have it. 5 years in running. We're going into year 6. Hopefully we'll get some videos out this year, maybe some more top 10s, maybe some reaction videos. That seems to be all the rage, right? Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I appreciate your support, and, all I can say is, please, don't forget to say your prayers, and God bless. Thank you once again.